Hello and welcome to another episode of the Big Money Stylist Podcast. It's number 120. Woo! I don't know why I cheer at every number. It's like every number is a special number. I'm like, because 121, 122.
It's like, you know what though? I feel like it's like birthdays. Like I celebrate every birthday super big and people are like, why? It's 28. I'm like, yeah, but I'll never be 28 again. So if I don't celebrate 28, it's like I lost the whole celebration.
My birthday's next week.
Are you so excited?
I'm going to be 27.
27. I'm like, wait.
You know what? I'm going to be 37.
How's that feel?
Oh my God. I still feel like I'm like young 30s. And then I'm like, 37's like past the halfway point now. Like 36, you're kind of like, oh, I'm still like mid 30s. Like
no, girl,
37, I'm like, shit, 40 is coming. It's like, it's coming. It's around the corner.
Do you know what I've realized even when it comes to dating? Because I'm 30 and I'm like.
That's weird. I'm 7 years older than you.
Yeah. And Garrett's what, 7 years older than you?
And Garrett's 7 years older
and then
than
I
me.
sit there and I'm like, I can't date someone 34. That is so old. And I'm like, you're 30. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm old.
Yeah, I was like, wait, really?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm so
You're
young.
You're internally still stuck in your 20s. I remember when I turned 30, I was like, do I need eye cream? Like, how does this work?
I'm washing my face definitely more now.
I'm at the point where I'm like, do I need more eyelashes? Like, what do I need? I'm like, nothing. There's nothing we can do.
You know what, though? I've never had eyelashes nor worn fake eyelashes, so I'm trying to not go there so I don't...
Those are your real lashes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you have good lashes, don't do it. I started down that train, and then I'm like, it's fine, though. If you ever take them off, like, you have to use Latisse or something, and they come back, and but I hate the time where you don't have any lashes, because, like, you take them off.
For me, like, I don't know what I look like with super big, long lashes, so I don't plan on ever finding out, and then I'll never miss them. You can't miss what you never had.
That's true. What about hair? I mean,
no,
how sad would you be?
I took that
how
out
sad
for a
would
week.
you be?
If you take a look at us, you can see us at dkwstyling.com. My hair is literally, I can tuck it into my pants.
Did you have your hair out last podcast?
2 podcasts ago, I think I had it out. I went to Danielle's house and I was basically
you were like, I felt like at that moment I was like, you're taking quarantine way too serious. Why is your hair out? Just kidding.
And I was like, I think I'm just gonna let my scalp rest. And then I was like, Danielle, can I
think
come
I'm
over
gonna
and
not
you put
shave
it
my
back
legs for the whole quarantine.
I shower and shave my legs. You can. They're prickly right now.
No, yesterday. Okay, I had to wash my hair. I did tone it. I added like 4 highlights in the face because I couldn't even handle it. You can't tell right now because I didn't do it. But because this is like worked out hair and I didn't do it. But yesterday I did some highlights. I toned it. I put on makeup, and Garrett was like, "Why do you look so good?" I was like, "I just got ready." I was like, I literally
like, "Oh shit, I showered."
I know. I was like, I realize he's gotten used to like workout Danielle, where I like don't have any makeup on. Like my hair is like halfway.
Do you know what I want to come steal from your closet? All of your ball caps. Because every time I see you, I'm like, damn, she looks cute in a ball cap. Maybe I could wear a ball cap. And then I open up my closet, I'm like, why do I own no ball caps?
Do you know what? I still Garrett's ball caps. I love ball caps, but it's mainly because these stupid postpartum bangs are still growing in. Like, but look how long they are.
They're really long. But no, I think it looks so cute when I'm like, oh, she has double braids and her workout clothes, a little ball cap.
I love a good hat. I'm a big hat girl. Like if you're not used to seeing yourself in hats, you feel weird. But then once you start wearing them, you like them. So
I know. I keep going to Lack of Color because their hats are the best.
Oh, Lack of color.
They're from Australia. They're like those big ones that are just.
Oh, yes. I like Brixton hats too. Brixton, those are good. Like beach hats. Oh, they're good. They're cute.
I have a straw one from Lack of Color. We are obviously very excited about hats. Welcome to our fashion podcast where we talk about all the things that we love, like hats.
And like every time we're wearing our logo t-shirts.
Do you like how when quarantine started, I came dressed up all the time and now I'm right back to my black tee?
Totally. This is like my uniform. We have like uniforms that say Natural Beauty Rose, DKW Styling. It's a good time. It's my uniform.
I'm going to go on our own website and order more because I'm like, these new ones fit so good.
You know, we have joggers coming out too. Yeah, and baby onesies.
I am never getting dressed again.
I'm never getting. No, I was like, man, I'm just living in leisure wear. Might as well create more of it.
My shoes are Chucks that are branded BMS.
Oh, I never got any of those. I'm feeling left out.
But you don't like Chucks.
I don't. I have these Dior Chucks. That's my version of Chucks.
All right, give me your pair of Dior. I'm going to send them off and have them branded.
Hell no.
It doesn't matter how expensive they are.
Can't brand my Diors. We're getting so off track.
But you know what is cool? Let's talk about something that's cool.
Okay.
Some salons are opening back up.
I know. Ooh, you know what?
Holy shit.
I felt a shift in the energy in the world. I know that sounds weird, but I felt like, and I talked about this last week where it was like, oh, we're just going to be closed for a couple weeks. And then by like week 3, we were like, oh, this is getting serious. And then by like week 4, we're like, oh, like it kept like getting darker and darker and darker. And then finally, like, it was kind of like, hey, some people might be opening up. And the energy of everybody kind of like shifted and changed and people weren't like so dying.
Yeah. And I feel it's still a little bit. I feel, you know what's so funny? First, it was the stress of like, oh my God, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I can't get sick. I don't want to get sick. Don't breathe on me. Why are you so close to me? And then it was like, wait, my what has to close? My whole business.
Right.
Oh, for like a week. Maybe 6, 8 weeks, 4 weeks. Oh, so like, for a month.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And now there's almost a different panic hitting. And it's the panic of like, oh, I can open up soon. Cool. Oh, I can open up soon.
Shoot.
I now have 4, 6 to 8 weeks worth of clients that are all expecting to get back in at the first appointment at the same time, the same week, the same day.
Well, and think about it, like women in their hair, and I'm obviously one of them, and so are you. You have me do your hair during all this craziness, and I had you do mine. Yeah, so it's so funny. Women value hair so much that like when things open back up, they might be like, oh, I don't want to like go, maybe we won't go to dinner or whatever. We'll just still social distance. But the first thing women want to do is what?
Get their hair done.
Get their hair
nails,
done.
and eyelashes.
Yes, hair, nails, and eyelash.
You want to know why, though? It's because the rest of me can be bummy. I'm in chucks and yoga pants,
but if your hair is done and
But girl, my hair is sleek and looks good, so I feel put together.
Right.
And that makes such a big difference. And I feel now that women have been at home for so long, and even inside of our private network for our academy students, an entire thread started yesterday for moms of one mom going, I'm 15 trainings behind. How the fuck are you guys doing this? My kids are crazy. They're just... she's like, I can't even go to the bathroom alone anymore.
Literally.
Like, and now all the moms were like, you too? Me too. Wait, me too. Wait. And it's a thread.
Nuts. Homeschool is rough. I'm just going to say that right now. Like so one of my daughters was already doing online school. She's in 7th grade. And then my other daughter was at school all day. And I'm sorry, but if you're not used to having your kids in the home and then plus like homeschool, plus having like your kids together, I'm not kidding you when I say this. I had to I have girls and they were physically in a fight. Like,
Bailey and Ruby.
Yes. I was like, I walked in and they were like, it's my computer. And I literally had to pry them off each other. And then they still were like, ma. And I finally walked out and I go, you guys duke it out. I don't know. And I went in my bathroom and I closed the door and I locked it and they followed me into the bathroom and they're like, Mom! And I'm like, I can't hide.
This is why you don't answer my messages.
Literally, I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. And this is so funny, but my little baby's in this little playpen right next to me while I'm trying to get ready. And she can't talk. She's 9 months old. And she hears the girls yelling and she's like, she thinks she's yelling. She's like, ah, ah. And she just like is so confused. I literally had lost my mind yesterday. I was like, this is going to feel like the longest summer ever. So all you moms out there, I feel you. And if there's anything that you can do, please create like an hour, like just a little bit of time and space for you. Whether that means like you're like, listen, babe, you're in quarantine. Like if like husbands are still working.
But even so let's talk about this for a second though. How would you do that? Because the moms were literally, they're like, they don't freaking leave me alone.
I would like I have a nanny and I was so funny when we went into quarantine. You could tell she was like, wait, you still need me, right? And I was like, oh, I still need you. Like your family, like you're quarantined with us. Like I need to keep my sanity. But for women that maybe don't have nannies or whatever the situation was, like if I was with my husband and I would literally have a serious conversation with him and be like, I don't want to lose my mind. So guess what? You got to put in like a couple hours in the morning where I can go for a walk around the neighborhood or whatever it is so that I can be a better mom to our kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I think that dads, like they don't naturally take on that role, whereas like women naturally are like we work, plus we can never forget about our kids. And I know this is kind of like off topic, but like all you moms out there that do hair, you know you can be in the middle of a haircut or a color and you're like, did my kids get picked up? Like it's just like in our MO, like we just know we're like, we don't even have to look at the time.
It's like a bat signal, but a mom signal.
Totally, it's a bat mom signal. And men don't think that way. They don't. They can go to work and they can just tune it all out. And so like if you ladies need that time, you're going to not have to nag your husband and get mad at him and get irritated. You're going to have a serious conversation to be like, babe, I love you. And I know that you are not working right now either. So guess what? You get to help with the children right now for a couple hours so I don't lose my mind.
Absolutely.
So anyways, that's just mine.
Well, and then it's so funny because the artists, some have been like, this has been kind of a nice break. And they're like, I can't wait to go back to work. And now that it's coming to be that time, they're like,
Oh, shoot.
They've literally been like, I don't think I want to go back to work right now. Like, not because of family or anything else, but they literally don't know how to handle the pressure and the stress of every client being like, hey, Danielle, hey, Danielle, can I? But Danielle, what about? And they're panicking.
Right. Well, and clients get weird too. They'll be like, well, I've been going to you for like 5 years, or like, we're friends. Like, we go out, and you're like, I know, but like,
there's one of me.
There's one of me, and this is friend relationship, and this is business relationship. You know, like, I can't I have to operate my business and treat everybody the same.
Yes. You and I did that. Today you were like, hey, this is friend Danielle texting. I'm like, hi, friend Danielle.
I know, because I was like, I'm going to text her and she's going to ignore it. But if I say, hey, this is friend Danielle, she'll respond back. I was like, okay.
Because the beginning said, this is not your boss, it's your friend.
I actually had that at the bottom of the text, and I was like, nope, I'm going to pop that right at the top so she'll open the text. So
look, I have to respect how well you know me.
I know, it's true. I was like, uh-oh, Ani, we're losing Ani.
Ani's in an emotional upheaval. Let's bring her back to earth.
It's, everybody's going through a lot right now, whether you have kids or you don't. Like, it's a weird time. You know what I mean? Like, even like I said, like people's energy and clients and everybody, you're like, I really want to get my hair done, but I don't want to be weird about it. But like, can you get me in tomorrow? Like, it's just
maybe not tomorrow, but how many people are going to be there?
Right.
And with that, one thing that Danielle and I were even discussing, because many of our artists inside of the Academy have been like, I was so excited to open, and now I'm panicking because all the clients are like, what about me? What about me?
Right.
And, Danielle and I, we and NBR and DKW and BMS, and we take such a hard stance on creating boundaries and finding space and time for you, because guess what? If you jump back into the salon, because some of them, they're like, I'm going to have to work 6-7 days a week. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. Your clients are going to have to wait. They've already waited 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. And that's something that you can't, if you've worked so hard to get a schedule that works for you, where you're at 2, maybe 3 days a week, I could understand adding 1 day.
Right.
Being like, you know what? Normally I work 3, I'll work 4. Okay.
Right.
Just because there is going to be a much larger influx of clients, but burning yourself out the first week we're back, that's the worst thing you can do.
I think that what artists are probably scared of is like, oh my God, if I don't get you in, are you going to go to somebody else who can get you in? Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, like, if I feel like we have such a phenomenal experience that I'm like, kind of like, hey, if you feel like you needed to go somewhere else in between, like, that, I mean, that happens whether we were closed or we're not closed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You always have clients and maybe go to somebody else and then come back, or go and then leave, or whatever it is. But I think that's the fear of a lot of artists is, if I don't, work and get everybody in, they're going to go to somebody else who can. Do you know what I mean? But you really have to value yourself and your time, and just be like, no, and have communication with your clients. Like, hey, I definitely can get you in. We're doing priority booking based on like who's gone the longest and things like that.
Well, and then not only that, it's a matter of, because I remember, I think you had said this, God, it was like a couple years ago when we were talking to students, and you were like, we were talking about, should they, when they start doing NBR, put them at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day to have more time. And you would always say, you put your NBR clients at the beginning of the day, because that's when you're fresh. Mm-hmm. That's when you do your best work. So really think about it. If you're going to be working 6 days, doing 3 to 4 NBR clients, which is rough, like that is, our eyes are both bugging out. I'm telling you.
I can't believe I used to do that.
Me either. Trust me, I know. But if that's what you're doing, I'm telling you, by day 4, you'll be okay day 4. By day 5 and 6, you're so done. Your work quality goes down.
It does.
And that's not how you, that's not what you stand for. That's
clients don't want that.
No. I don't want to come to you for you to give me half-ass work because you're tired. I'll wait.
I'm sure you've experienced this. I've experienced this where I've gone to like nail salons where I go in and it's not that busy, and or I even make an appointment. Sometimes I make an appointment, sometimes no. So I'm in there, I'm getting my nails done, and then like all these walk-ins come in and they just squeeze them all in, and then I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have like shitty nails because you just tried to squeeze 10 other people in, and I'm the one that made an appointment.
Yep.
And it gives me the worst anxiety, and it's the worst experience. And there's nail salons that I'm like, I'm not going there anymore because they won't say no to everybody, and then I'm in there for like 2 hours instead of like an hour and 15 minutes because they wanted to fit 10 people away in, and I have a shitty manicure. That's the worst. And so that's why I always, even like before COVID-19 and everything that's going on, I would always say, I never want to have an assembly line salon. Oh my God. Like, I never want to feel like, who's my artist? Is my hair frying off? I have really bad anxiety. I've been under the dryer for 45 minutes. What fucking assistant is this that's working on my hair? Did you even say hi? What is your name? Like, I don't want to be treated like cattle and ran through an assembly line where the main artist just comes up and is like, hi, how are you? And does like one consultation and then it checks out. Mm-hmm. Like, that drives me crazy. So I always tell people, like, if you're at that point in your career, you probably should like raise your prices in order to get a better quality experience. And it's going to be a different level of clientele.
Definitely.
Like, I would go to a salon that gave me a better experience versus like funneling me through of some, like whatever, like literally like a factory.
Yes. Look, I did it for my dog. Okay. I know there are dog trainers that are closer. I drive 40 minutes to go get Ronald trained for an hour to drive 40 minutes back, which is why it's so hard to get in for me, because it's a 2.5 hour experience for a 1 hour training. But the guy's so good. And Ronald is the smartest nugget ever, that it's worth it to me to pay that amount, drive that far, and come back.
Because you get better results.
I'm getting the result that I truly want.
Well, and what I would say for you guys, like, you'll actually do yourself a disservice if you try to fit everybody in. If like I'm like one of your extension high playing clients, and I come in and all of a sudden you're working on like 4 people at once, and you normally work on like 1 to 2, you might lose me as a client. Because you tried to cram everybody in, and I'm like, geez, I would have rather just waited a couple extra weeks and then got on your books and gotten like the regular experience that I always do with you. Mm-hmm. So be careful. Like, I think we have this fear of losing clients if we don't get them in, but you would actually lose clients if you don't give them the same experience and treatment, and you just rush them all through and give them like 4 highlights and you're like half a Titan and you're done.
Yeah. And the clients are going to understand. And here's my big stance on this is now 6 to 8 weeks worth of clients that you have to bring back in. 2 months worth of clients. So you're not going to get this done in a week. You're not going to get it done in 1 month. You're not even going to get it done in 2. For your schedule to go back to normal, this is going to be a 3-4 month onboarding process in order to find that, because you also already have clients on your book. So just understand that. And, even if like you've never had an assistant, I would recommend reaching out to a hair school and being like, can I just hire an assistant? Even if all they do is shampoo clients, clean bowls, and mix color, I'm telling you, it will 100% be worth it. Right. And that way you can focus on the art instead of like, I mix this color, but now I put it on. Oh my God, I have to clean my bowl. I'm out of bowls. Like, it's not even worth it. Hire someone, even if it's just temporary during this like crazy period, to like help you with the influx of clients.
I think that artists have a hard, I'm always surprised when we teach classes, and this is kind of off topic, but I'm always surprised when we teach classes, how many artists don't work with an assistant.
Okay, look. I didn't have an assistant until I came to work for you.
I did not. Do you know I didn't have an assistant until I've been doing hair 17 years, and I didn't have an assistant until about 5 years ago.
I'm at 11 years now, so it was 8 years for me. I didn't have
an assistant for the first like 12 years I was doing hair. That's nuts.
I hired an assistant, and then I moved a month later.
You're finally like, I'm doing it. But you know what I found? It was so funny because when I don't know why I didn't hire an assistant. I think I didn't know how to delegate. You know what I mean? And like, I think we get such in a rhythm that we're like, it's just faster if I do it myself.
Yes.
And I think that's the number one problem that artists have when they hire an assistant, is it takes time to train them. So then they think it's going to take the appointment that much longer. If you're going to hire somebody from a hair school or whatever to come help, you have to just like delegate. Like, just be literally like, don't expect them to know what to do. Mm-hmm. Like, don't just be like, like, you just have to get in the mind frame of like, you're doing hair, and then you're like, okay, hold this, okay, wash this, okay, do this, okay, I want you to do this, and this. And it's literally, it's
well, and I feel
delegating.
Like, and right now, even hiring an assistant is not something where you don't have to train them in NBR. You don't even have to train them in color. It can be, okay, hand me foils. Keep handing me foils. Okay, go mix this. All artists know how to mix color. Like, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, for the love of God, or 1-to-2. It's not that hard. Or go mix this.
Surprised.
Okay, you know what? That is painful for me to say.
Because think about how many times, like, when I actually, what's so funny, when I work with an assistant, I like to physically walk over to the color drawers, and it's kind of like I know what I want, but I want to see everything visually laid out. And I'm like,
oh, same.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this. And I prefer actually mixing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like if it's a base, I'm like, can you go mix a 5.0 with 20 volume, equal parts? You can't fuck that up. I mean, you could. You could.
If we're being honest.
But then I always reiterate when they bring the color back, I say 20 volume, right? And I've even had the mistake with assistants who are like, oh no, I thought you said 10. I'm like, she's got gray. That's not going to do anything. Go remix with 20 volume.
My favorite thing is, because you've done that to me too. Even when we're filming, you're like 20. I'm like 40. You're like, what? I'm like, I'm just kidding. It's 20. Here you go.
Yeah, I'm a jerk too, and
I got it. But no, it's so much delegating, but you don't have to fully train them on it. So even if you walked over and you're like, 10 ounces of this, 10 ounces of this, 20 ounces of this, and you write it on a piece of paper, they can mix, they can clean, they can help shampoo, they can help blow dry, they can do things
Doing
that
hair
will...
is like cooking. Like, you know how it's like, if you, it's like,
worse.
it's like
chemistry.
a mess. Like, well, you get done and you like look at your kitchen and you're like, I just made tacos. How did this happen? You know, you're like, I cut up the things and this and that. And that's how I feel like sometimes hair is. Like, I remember when I would work by myself, I'd get done by the end of the day and I'm like, there's literally like color on the walls.
How did the color get on the ceiling?
How is there color on the ceiling? And so and that was one of my favorite things when I first hired an assistant is when I was like wrapping up and getting done, I'm like, okay, you need to go around, put away all the color, wipe up the walls, wipe up the floors. Like you need to bleach that. You need to like sanitize. You need to do all this. And I'd get done and I was like, holy smokes, I'm done with the art and I get to go home. That is insane. That is my favorite part of the day. So
it's such a great feeling.
and
even that by itself would be helpful, guys. But the biggest thing is don't kill yourself now and take away all the work you've done and completely wrecking your schedule.
Right.
Will you have to be a little bit bendable? Yes, you're going to have to kind of go with the flow. You might have to add on an extra day or maybe one more client per day.
Right.
But not working 6-7 days a week, that is not going to serve you or your clients.
Your work quality will go down and then you may lose clients off of that. So just make sure that if you set boundaries for yourself, stick to those boundaries. Like we even have moments in my salon where we've had artists go and then we have an influx of clients and I'm like, hey, everybody has to be a team player. Like everybody gets to pick up an extra shift, an extra client. Like you're going to be a little bit more busy and that's fine we'll kind of like level out itself.
And we've done that. So myself and Crystal, the salon manager, we only work 1 day a week because we're busy doing a lot of other things. But yeah, even when we've had people go or things like that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take on another day. Let me rework my schedule. Crystal takes on another day, reworks it. And literally everybody's a team player. And what I think is cool is some of our girls even, they've been like, they're like, I have a couple girls who are NBR trained, but I haven't passed them off clients for just fear. Like I haven't been ready. And I'm like, well, guess what? You're at a no option place now.
Right.
The thing that you've been holding on to so tight, it's time to let the reins go and start giving them clients to serve all of the clients. Like you have them here for a reason.
I think
Use them.
And I think too, like whenever I do that with an assistant, I usually make sure like if I'm going to hand them a client, I'm there. So if they have questions and I would always go up to the client and be like, hey, Sarah, how are you doing? This is Jamie. She has my color formula. She's going to take care of you. Like, I'm right here if you guys have any questions, like whatever. And so that's like a good time to like pass your clients off and make sure that you're in good communication with the client so they know like, hey, they booked with Jamie, not you. Maybe she's a different price point, like whatever it is. But you're there to kind of like ease them of any like stress or anything they might have and kind of check in and make sure that both the artist and the client feel comfortable and safe. And like Ani said, like this is like the perfect time to maybe be like, okay, well, Sarah wants to get in and she's willing to go to Jamie. Like she's dying to get her hair done. So if the client's okay with going to Jamie, then I'm okay with passing her off to Jamie kind of thing.
And I'm going to address something that you guys are probably thinking about, but you haven't been willing to admit it. Look, everybody has a client they don't like. Just admit it. It's okay. We are human beings. We don't like everybody. I won't say who. Someone in our network.
I wouldn't say not like, but it's like some you really vibe with and some you're just like polite with.
No, look, there's some clients you don't like.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Look, I had someone in our network, and I won't say who, but I'll tell you later. I'll say this. I love all my clients. Mine are legit. I
really don't dislike any of my clients. Is there some that I'm like, she makes me sweaty a little bit? But I'm not
I vibe so hard with all of mine. Like they're amazing. And I feel I'm so blessed and lucky, but I'm also only there 1 day a week. But this artist has a very, very massive NBR clientele, probably one of the biggest. And she's like, I'm not gonna lie. She goes, I've been doing home visits and some people I'm like, I just don't really like you. You're not nice. You're not a nice person. You're so mean and you're so aggressive. You go to the bottom of my list. I'm going to serve the clients that I love.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to serve the clients that I love, that are respectful, that have been understanding, and they will be on the top of my list. And that's literally how she's been gauging.
Well, that's honestly, that's how it goes, like with any business. Like your top serving clients, the ones that come in the most, the ones that you that are just great clients, you're going to want to serve them more. The ones that you only see every 6 months and they kind of complain about this and that, you're kind of like, no offense, but you're not on the VIP list of my clientele. Like that's just how it is. And they shouldn't be upset about that, especially if they like know they're not like a consistent client or
I don't know, Danielle, would you want someone being like, I don't really vibe with you. You're at the bottom of my list. Please don't say it to clients.
No, but what I'm saying is like if I had a salon that I went to, like I just wasn't good at upkeeping my hair, or like say I had like my eyelashes done and I just because I kind of take them off and put them back on and I go to different artists and this and that, and I'm not like a regular with my eyelashes, like I'm not. So if somebody came to me and my normal eyelash girl was like I went to her and I was like, hey, can you put these back on? And she was like, no. I'd be like, I get it. I'm not like your regular every weeker appointment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not gonna bump off a regular to fit someone who's irregular.
Right.
Absolutely. But even that's like, this sounds terrible to say, but if you've been looking, if think about it, guys. Okay, maybe you don't dislike them, but do you have that client when they come in, you just get like, you see their name on your book and your stomach starts to hurt a little bit and you're like, okay, all right. And you have to like prepare yourself for that appointment. Well, and then they come in that day and you see them and you're like, almost like holding your breath. I've experienced that with clients in the past when I lived in Missouri and worked there. Definitely. There was one, I won't say her name, but one in particular, we're going to call her Sally. I would see her name on my book for that week and I'd be like, all right, here it goes. And that day I'd be like, oh, this is going to be rough. And then it'd be her appointment time and I'm just like, fuck, you're here. And I'm not saying this is a great time to get rid of them.
I can handle a lot. Like, it takes a lot for me to be like, I really don't like you. Like, I think I'm at a place in my career, if I get to that point, I just have a straight up conversation. And I've had it with clients in the past. I literally remember one specific client that I said, hey, you seem like a nice person, but it's not going to be a fit. And here's why. At the time I took checks, I'm like, you keep giving me checks, they bounce. I'm like, and then half the time you're trying to ask me for a deal on hair. I cannot give you a deal on hair. Like, I just flat out called her and I was like, I really actually like you. You seem like a really nice person. As an individual, you're great. I said, as a business owner, I'm no longer willing to work with you. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm like, you've been my client for like a year too long. Like, I didn't say that, but I was like, she's like, can you give me another chance? And I flat out said, I said, no. I'm like, you've had multiple checks bounce on me. You constantly are trying to like talk a deal out of me. I'm like, I can't do that as a business owner. So again, this has gone on too long. And so like, I've had to have those conversations. I've gotten to the point in my career where I just like, I don't put up with that shit. Cause I think that if we have that much anxiety over a client, that's your fault. Like, you just shouldn't have them on your books. And we've had even conventions where we've had people been like, I just really hate Sarah. When she comes in, she says I'm not a very good artist anyways, and she doesn't know. And I'm like, why would you accept that in your chair?
Cool. Well, and we've had says, we're like, cool, call Sarah, cancel her next appointment. Literally in front of 300 people.
Artists.
We're like, you're going to call? Yep. I think we always call her Karen. We're going to call your Karen. You're going to call your Karen, and you're going to cancel her appointment. And everyone's like, it's literally, it's the biggest.
It's really cool to see, though, because I think to me, it symbolizes taking back control behind the chair.
Yes.
And the only reason we put ourselves in that situation is because we tell ourselves we have to take everyone, and we don't. And it's not worth the stress.
No.
You know what I mean?
And so this is a great time, guys. Look at your books and have an honest conversation with yourself. If you have that client, because I'm telling you, I've had them before, and
we all have.
Yes, and it was rough. But if you have those clients, this is a great time to start weeding them out. And I'm not saying taking like a coward's way out, but it doesn't even have to be a flat out confrontation. It can be like, hey, I can't fit you on my books right now. Like, I'll contact you. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. And that's a great way to weed them out without you feeling guilty. Like, oh my God,
I'm always surprised with how many artists say, how do I have this conversation with raising my prices? Or how do I have this conversation if I don't want to work on this person? I'm like, simple. You get out of your head about it and you just come up to him like a business owner and not like, you're not like a friend. You're friends, but you're not really.
You're not. If you died tomorrow, they would just go to someone else.
Yeah, I'm like, you need to remember that you're a business owner and have a very like upfront conversation. It doesn't have to be rude. It doesn't have to be negative. It could even be like, hey, Sarah, I like just wanted to let you know I did raise my prices. I'm going to honor my current prices right now. However, if we want to rebook, this is what my prices are. If they say, I don't know, you can say, well, I can't hold this spot for you. So if you can't decide, that's fine. You can call later, but I can book you with whatever's available. And then you're like, and
it's that simple.
You don't have to say anything else.
You don't have to.
I'm always mind boggled when they're like, but I love you, but I have to pay for my dog, and then I have to pay for my kids. And
here's
they
what
don't
all my
need to
bills
know
cost.
that.
Here's how much money I have. They don't need to know.
They don't need to know that your hair
matter.
costs went up. They don't need to know that your color costs went up. You don't need to start the conversation say, my booth rent went up, so I have to charge you more. No. You say, I raised my prices. I'd love to accommodate you. If that doesn't work, no problem. I'm happy to refer you to a different artist.
You do not have to give an excuse for how you run your business.
Yes.
Look, nobody walks into the Louboutin store and they're like, why are your shoes so expensive?
Right.
Like, no one is doing that. You know what you're getting into. And if they're like, hey, prices went up, we're not like, why? What? Why are you charging me more?
Is that red bottom more? Did it cost more to make?
Did the paint cost
no.
more? What?
Did the paint? Yes. No. Because
it did.
It went up.
Gas prices go up and no one's like, but did the pump cost more? What about this? We know.
They might complain about it, but they still pay for it.
Exactly. It's not an option. So don't make excuses for your business, which also means when you're rebooking, you don't have to make excuses either. And clients will be understanding or they won't. And I'm telling you now, the ones who are raging sacks and are not the nicest pieces of people, not the nice, I almost said pieces of, the ones who are not nice people, they will literally show themselves and expose themselves by being not understanding, by being total dickheads.
And that's okay. You don't want them on your books anyways. I've kind of gotten to that my career so many times. And some people I'm like, sad, I didn't want to see your true colors, but I also don't want to work with you anymore. Like,
bummer,
sorry.
But you know what?
Bummer.
I respect it.
Yeah,
Thank you for being
you
here.
You can do your own thing and that's okay. And you have to be okay with like, these are my boundaries. And if you want to go to somebody else, that's fine because I stand behind the product and the service that I deliver as a business owner. Like
Absolutely.
When you feel solid in what you're offering to clients and somebody's like, and gives you attitude, you're like, that's fine. You don't need to come to me. I love you and I'll give you an amazing experience. But if that doesn't work for you, you don't have to. Like, I'm not going to, I love that you said that. Don't make excuses for your business. I'm like, this is what it is. So I think a lot of times artists, we're not trained how to like the whole business mindset of things.
No.
And so we get thrown out into the wolves and we constantly are making excuses to why we're charging what we're doing and that kind of thing. And it's like, you have to start operating like an artist, but like a business owner when you make decisions because you are in the business of making money.
And guys, I feel that's the perfect way to end. You're in the business of making money, and it's as simple as that. So thank you for being here on the BMS podcast, episode 120.
I was like, 120?
120. If you want to see us, you can watch at dkwstyling.com. And we're getting so many questions about BMS convention. Is it going to happen this year? Yes, we are absolutely still doing BMS Con. If you want, there's no tickets on sale just yet.
We're kind of pushing the date just based on everything that's happened. And it will still be here in Dana Point, California. We were going to do it in October. We're thinking like maybe pushing it closer to like November.
Yeah.
Which we normally do our conventions every November anyways. Yeah. So we'll come to you guys with any news. Don't worry. Like things are crazy, but we definitely still want to have our convention if we're able to. And we'll keep you guys posted with what's going on.
So have a great day and we'll see you next week.
Bye.